So you need to start asking yourself, what is it that can be done to ensure my spouse will be okay even if I left? I know these days, once you hit your 70s and 80s, sometimes there is no notice. The other day, somebody was on the pulpit in Royo. You saw that thing, it was happening in the web, isn't it? He's making an announcement, then it seemed like he's not reading properly. And I saw elders running the clip, elders come to him. Then we read in the newspaper, the guy died. Very good day, because he died working for the Lord. I'm not going to read it. No sickness, no medical bills. He just went home, serving the Lord. But the wife is left behind. Am I right? Just for you to think that can happen anytime. And you know, when you are younger, we used to say the years of a man are 3 scores and we talked about 7 years, 8 years, we kept that verse. When we got to our 60s, that verse no longer is relevant. But the truth is, I'm in my 70s, the 3 scores that I have got finished. So what do I claim? Now we claim that the Lord gives bonus among my bonus. Now you are my bonus, you are your bonus. If the Lord takes you, you can't start 10 years taking you early. I'm not communicating. So how come you don't realize in your 70s, in your 80s, and think that you live on the same day with your spouse? So I thought that in your economics, that's something that you need to actually put very well. And do not leave your spouse to be thrown out by the young people. And by the way, we are talking about women. Even men are thrown out. And because the letter, the titles, and the son's name, you take him to court. No, is it not my father's property? It's mine. But I tell him, look at the title. It's not written somewhere that this title is on loan. No. You have it over to your son. So it's something that you need to think clearly about. In fact, that's why people are starting to say your will should read your grandchildren rather than your children. Because you're just about your age, isn't it? They are only 20 years, so when you are 60, they are 40. They are adults, isn't it? So when will they use the money you are giving them? Write the name of the grandchild. Goes long enough. I'm not suggesting you do it. But it's important to understand that there will be time for your grandchildren to grow. Your people will start thinking that your spouse is taking too long. Your husband died 10 years ago. What are you still doing here? It's a serious matter. And we can go on, and it's important. So, in your budget, please ensure you look at food, you look at shelter, you look at clothing, you look at Medicare. And because in old age we have time to do other things, look at your ministry, your sports, your travel, all those kind of things which are part of it. And I think that will be important too. So, and think that your financial concerns is that, we have talked about it already, is the reduction in resources, and therefore the importance of your investment being safe, your liquidity, your inflation, your sustainability, all that are things you need to talk about. And I think that will be important. And think about the standard of living and how are your sources of income in retirement likely to be. The first one is, if you look at the chart, we were told in that research, people said, I'm still quoting the research that was done, monthly pension, can you see how big it is? Is it showing? No? You are not, I thought they're projecting the, okay, so you can see it. So look at the color for monthly pension. It's not as high as you thought, isn't it? Monthly pension. Then rental property, that's the average of the group that was being surveyed. Rental property, some were getting from business, then farming, then other. Those are the kind of things they were doing. How do you divide your time between various activities? Some people said a lot of their time is in farming. It doesn't matter how low the return is. But we Africans, we must continue farming. And then there's business, there's sport, and we can go on. How do you allocate your income at retirement? You can see, unfortunately, what you did not expect to happen, your money is still going to children, education, and then medical bills, and then transport, and then food and basic necessities. That it is now not theory. These were figures from an actual survey showing that even old people are still paying school fees. Are you getting the point? So maybe we should do one, Brother Waidaka, we may do one among us to see what the reality is in case the Shell group is not a very good group. And I wanted to talk about the planning cycle, talk about but that is normally when I'm talking to younger people about your age and the implication in terms of investment. Before retirement, build sufficient investments to sustain your lifestyle that you desire in retirement. During retirement, it's advisable to ensure that your investment portfolio is designed to generate sufficient income. The value of your retirement investment and income determine how much you may be able to comfortably spend. So, and I've already talked about retirement. You should be cash rich rather than asset rich. Saving and investment, assume you must have, if you are younger, you assume delayed gratification. So 80% of your money you invest, and I don't think I want to go into all that. But let's be clear. As an old person, invest most of your money in dependable places like bonds, pension funds, things that have lower return but lower risks. So we go 65% to that place, 17% to a more risky place like shares, and then another 17% you can now take risks. Because if it's only 17%, even if you lose it, you are still stable, isn't it? So we are not suggesting an old person cannot go into a risky business, but it should be such that you are ready in case you lose. That principle is called the worst case scenario principle. In other words, my brother have taken loans all of these years, but we never take a loan before making an assumption we'll be unable to pay. Because my first job after I left university was with a development bank. And I saw many people come because I was in the final accounts where we are returning people's collateral or selling their property. I would ask the old men. Look, they had taken the loan in the 60s, now we are in the 1970s. And they said, what happened is I invested, then this happened. Everybody had an excuse why they were unable to pay. And I realized not all of them were careless. Risks are not a joke, they are real. So anytime you take a loan, start by assuming it's possible to lose it and never be unable to pay. When you are unable to pay, please picture what the loaner will do. If you can't live with it, don't take the loan. That's why the word of God says, don't give your loan on the basis of somebody's bed. If you sell that bed, God will be on the case. That's for bankers. And it's also for us. You do not take a loan on your residence. Am I communicating? Yeah, because if you are never to pay, you'll sell the residence and you'll be on the road, isn't it? So, whatever attraction of the business you're investing in, the word of God is saying, no, you don't use your bed as a part of collateral. Am I communicating? So you need to ask yourself, which loans am I having where if I was unable to pay, it will finish me? Whatever the promise of return, ignore it. Do not take where you live cannot be used. If you are living in a plot of half an acre, please subdivide it to 2 quarters. The 1 quarter without your house, you can take a loan. Where your house is, you are not allowed to take. And you can quote the scripture to you here that when somebody, a poor man takes on his bed, if you said it, where do you expect him to go? Now back to the poor man. You are the poor man. If you take a loan on your bed, where do you expect to go? And I repeat, I learned a lot by dealing with loans in my first job in 1970s. Anybody can be unable to pay. So we start with, if you are unable to pay, like when we bought a piece of land 40-some years ago, we started by saying, that means you have to pay per month, blah, blah, blah. What about if I lost my job? And the answer was, we just allow them to take the land, isn't it? Before we have no land, after we have no land, you have not moved backwards, we are still at zero. So we're able to take the loan on the assumption that we'll be willing to release the collateral and still be where you are, isn't it? And of course we were able to pay the land. Now the land belongs to us. But that's the principle behind it. In old age, don't take a loan and to leave it to your children to struggle with it. You must ask yourself, in the most in airline, they talk about the in unlikely event. So let's assume it's unlikely you'll be able. But if that unlikely event happened, can you cope with the consequences? If the answer is no, you pray about it and the Lord can give you an assurance, don't touch it. However good the return is. Are we together? And that's something that you have to think about clearly. And anyway, I better stop there. The notes will be sent to you so that we allow time for questions. I've taken longer than I should have taken. May the Lord bless you. So I'm ready for questions and comments. Remember, some of you are older, know better than me, so help all of us by commenting on whatever. We are talking about retirement, economics. Yeah.
I think let's give another applause to our Lord. That was really something. So let's go to Q&A so that we don't take a lot of time. Let me just see by raise of your hands, those who want to ask questions. I can see my brother there. Okay. Those are 3 questions. Any other? 4? Okay. Let's start from here.